Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I am feeling a little bit better. I am still a little bit, my voice is a little bit off still, but definitely feeling a lot better since the last couple times I have put up a video. I appreciate you guys working through that voice. It was quite rough. But today we are going to be talking about actually someone that we've talked about in the past. Don't mind my cool bandana that I'm wearing in this video, but we're going to be talking about Queen Bee Says, who is the person we were talking about in this video from about a year ago. And that video was about like secretly dating a fat woman, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about a few TikToks that she has uploaded on her account, kind of just talking about being a bigger person, fat phobia, toxic diet culture, all of those kinds of things. So without further ado, let's kind of just get into the first video. So this first video, the caption is "Diet culture is wild, and when you start to think about it, you can't unsee it." And it's just her kind of sharing her experience.
I was talking to my husband last night about just the wild things that people say to you when you're in that diet culture, when you're in that diet like sphere. And one exchange that just lives in my brain rent free because of just how absurd it is was when I was in this diet where I was having a replacement shake in the morning, I was having dinner, and then I was having like one of the diet's like cereal bars after dinner.
So first red flag there obviously is that is an extremely low amount of food. And now I'm sure that that's a diet that has helped people lose weight. But at the end of the day, I think what's really important is finding a way of eating that is lifelong, that is something that you can sustain. And I think that this is why we see such a swing in the anti-diet culture kind of rhetoric that you hear, especially in videos like this, is because a lot of these people, and it really is sad, they have gone through very serious and unhealthy diets that they felt were the only way to lose weight, right? I'm not saying that she feels this way now. I'm sure she's educated and understands that that's, that was probably not the best diet for her. But like a lot of people, they go through that and they start to feel that the only way that I am able to lose weight is when I'm doing these extreme diets, because for a lot of people, that's the only way that they're ever able to actually see a substantial amount of weight loss is when they are regimented to a very, very strict and like over the top diet, because, for them, it's easier to just say no to everything and only have these things, which again, it does work to an extent, but it's one of those things that it only works for a certain amount of time. And then you end up falling off the wagon and then bam, the weight all comes back on. Right. And then you go back to that diet to lose weight again, pay them more money, so on and so forth. Right. And so that's why I'm really not a fan of those. And I advise people against those types of diets very much so because of this kind of thing that she's going to bring up here in a second.
And so you can hear I'm barely eating, right? And on this particular day, with my cereal bar at the end of the day, I needed to eat something a little bit more. So I grabbed a handful of grapes. And someone said to me, "You need to be careful about how many grapes you're eating there, Hannah, because of the added sugar." They're fucking grapes.
Yeah, and like they are just grapes. And that's another thing that I think is, and I get frustrated about this, the people that are like the proponents of, trying to help people lose weight and trying to help people just live healthier lives, is a lot of times it almost feels like people will see the way that they've been eating and say maybe they've been healthy their entire lives, or they have really honed their diet after years and years and years. They will start to use these things that they are doing and try and get other people to do that are coming from literally eating like the most typical Western diet, which is like, they're eating McDonald's very frequently and they're going out to eat all the time. Like, to say to that person, "Oh, you shouldn't have grapes because there's a lot of sugar in it." It's like, dude, that is not the advice that person needs in that moment. Like that you can hold off on that. Like, that person is not the weight that they are because they ate too many grapes. And it's like, sometimes it's like people just do not see that. I don't understand how you cannot see like, hey, maybe this advice, well, maybe for me it's helpful because I'm trying to get, super lean and ready for whatever thing it is that I'm trying to get ready for. Maybe for this person that has 100+ pounds to lose, maybe I don't need to tell them to be worried about grapes, right? Like, I think that that's a little tone deaf.
It's wild how demonized fruit can be within certain diets because of this fucking added sugar. Bear in mind, the cereal bar I'm probably eating is probably really high in sugar, but that's part of the diet. That's allowed.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
So I'm getting judged and I'm getting fucking disciplined for eating Grapes of all things. And it's just, you just can't do anything right. You can't do anything right within diets.
So that's where I disagree, you know? That's where I'm like, okay, pump the brakes. When you start to think that way, you are 100% just telling yourself, and I think allowing yourself to just give up and not feel bad about it, or not, like, you're just allowing yourself to give up is the best way that I can explain it. Because if you start to say, I can't do anything right, if you're like trying to prove to these random people that are, you know, they feel that they know everything, then maybe that's the truth. But if at the end of the day, you are trying to lose weight because you're trying to better yourself slowly over time, of course, there's ways that you can do good, that you can be right, that you like. To think like that is, I think, is a way to accept failure. When I think that it should be about slowly improving yourself over time and allowing yourself to make mistakes and try and learn from those mistakes. But when you just go from that to be like, whoop, see, look, there's no way that I can appease anyone. It's like, well, why are you trying to lose this weight? Why was that a goal of yours in the first place? If it's only because you want to look better, whatever, you know, I'm sure there's arguments that people would say that. But if it is because, like, hey, you know, I am not feeling good in my body, I want to be around for my children, I want to be able to play with them when they are older or whatever, then who cares what someone else thinks, right? Like, if you feel that you are making improvements, that's all that matters. And so I don't know. It's interesting because it feels like, because I can't appease this over the top person that is in my life, whoever it might be, then I might as well not even try anymore, right?
The demonization of foods, the judging, it was just the morality. It fucking sucks. And that will, every time that I eat grapes, I always remember that exchange. Because it's like, what? Like, they're fucking grapes, man. Just insane.
Yeah, and like I said, I do agree that it's insane, but I don't think that that's a reason that you should just, you know, completely give up. This next video is about her saying that she thinks that it's wrong, basically, for people to want to talk about their weight loss in a public setting. And so the caption of this TikTok is, why is weight loss and diets a go-to topic of conversation for a lot of people?
This is a PSA to say that weight loss and your latest diet is not a suitable conversation with anybody, let alone strangers. I find it bafflingly tone deaf how readily people will talk about it, be it in workplaces or Uber drivers or strangers you just meet, like on trains, whatever it might be. These have all happened to me.
This is such a random thing to be this, like, upset about, because this is, like, clearly there are a lot of people that are trying to lose weight, and once you start to see success, it's like a very exciting thing. So of course you're gonna want to bring it up, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I imagine that those conversations naturally kind of happened. I really doubt that someone sat down next to her on the train or whatever and was like, by the way, I lost 50 pounds in the last 3 months by doing this diet. Like, I really doubt that that's how these conversations are starting. I mean, I've lost a lot of weight, and I can tell you that I don't think I've ever just randomly gone up to someone and started talking about how I've lost weight. The only time it's brought up is usually if someone brings it up to me. Maybe we're in the gym and they can see I have loose skin, and they'll ask me, you know, how much weight have you lost? And then I'll kind of talk about it. But honestly, if I'm being completely honest about myself, it's like one of the last things I talk about. Like, if you know me in person, I don't talk about it that much, because I think for me, it's like work now too. And so it's like, it's not something I want to just talk about randomly when there's so many other things I want to talk about. So, like, I can agree to that extent, but like, to feel like you have to make a video talking about, like, all these people keep coming up to me and saying how much weight they're losing. Like, I don't know if that's actually happening.
It is not a suitable conversation to be having with anybody without a very obvious green light that is something the other person wants to partake in. We all have, like, we live in our society. I think every single one of us has a nuanced take on diet culture and weight loss.
No, I'm sorry, but no, that's not true, right? Like, that's what you think, because clearly this is a big part of your life, which is fine. But like, this is a very big part of your life in a very niche part of the internet. Most people do not feel as triggered, as negative, as like it does not take over their mind. It does not make them freak out when someone brings this up. That is a very personal thing that you deal with, which is fair and fine, and you're allowed to feel that way. But then to be like, everyone must feel this way because I do. No, I'm sorry, but not everyone feels that way.
Obviously, some is positive and some of it's negative. But let's not assume that everyone's experience is positive, and let's just not talk about it. Like, I'd much rather talk about anything.
I don't think it's that someone is trying to assume that you're going to have a positive response to the aspect of someone talking about diet culture. If they're bringing it up, it's something they're excited about, and they're trying to talk about something they are excited about. The easiest thing you can do is like, that's awesome. Happy for you. Now, my dog did blah, 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 right? Like, why does this need to be such a big deal? Just be like, yep, that's awesome. Good for you. I'm glad that you're losing weight and it's something that you want to do. My dog just got a new toy. Let me show you it, or whatever it is. Like, I don't understand why, like, what is this video going to do at the end of the day? Is this really going to change someone's random person's mind that you see that's going to talk to you about this?
Anything else than those things, please.
So this video triggered a response from her, but she is responding to this comment right here. So this comment says, I don't know, I've lost 3 stone, which is, I don't know, I think a stone is 14 pounds, so whatever 14 times 3 is. I'm working hard. I want to talk about it. I'm so proud of myself. I'm still 6 stone overweight. I want to talk about it to big myself up, not shame others, right? And so I'm sure there are a lot of people that feel that way. It's like, I'm not telling you this because I'm trying to make you feel bad. I'm telling you this because it's something I'm excited about, right? And so this is her responding to that comment and what she has to say to that response.
How normalized we have made it seem to talk about weight loss and diet culture with anybody. I mean strangers, I mean people in the workplace, acquaintances. There were a few people in the comments section talking about how that they want to talk about their weight loss. Yeah, good, talk about it with people who then want to talk about it. It is perfectly healthy conversational habit, a skilled conversationalist to ensure the person you're in conversation with want to talk to you about whatever it is you're talking about.
Yeah, I agree. But like, if someone is bringing it up for the first time, how are they going to know before they bring it up that it's like not okay to bring it up to you? It's stuff like this that it's like, dude, just be realistic. Like, no one can read your mind. If you are not comfortable with something, just say something about that, right? Like, just let people know. I don't know, man.
That's why we say things like, oh, no politics, please. Because sometimes that makes us uncomfortable. Now, don't get me wrong. If I'm engaging in a conversation with a stranger and they all of a sudden turn it to weight loss and diet culture, it is on me to indicate whether I am uncomfortable with that.
Well, then, what's the point? What's the point of this?
But the other person, why do they think it's a normal conversation topic to begin with?
Because it is, man. Like, this is something that a lot of people struggle with. And if someone is excited about something, they're going to talk about it. Like, no one is overanalyzing everything that they're going to say. If someone is going through something, right, they're trying to lose weight, they're obviously putting a lot of work into that. They're putting a lot of effort. They're putting a lot of time. It's where their mind is. And so when that person is in that mindset, and they are having conversations with their people are like, how have you been? What have you been up to? What are you doing? Oh, I'm trying to lose weight. Blah, 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 blah. I've decided to start waking up earlier, and so I can go to the gym, and I've never been able to do that before, and it's really been nice. It's been a few months. I never thought I'd be able to stick to it, right? It's something that you're really proud of. Same thing if like you start skateboarding, and you're like, yeah, I've been skating a lot. It's been a lot of fun. I never thought I'd get back into it since I was a kid, and it's been like, it's just a normal human thing to do, to talk about the thing that you are doing that you are excited about, you know? And then if you don't want to talk about that, you talk about the most mundane things possible, which is like the weather, right? Oh yeah, you know, it's hot today. Yep, it is. All right, see you later. Like, I don't know, man.
And that's what I'm highlighting. Come on. Where we are in the culture, where weight loss and diet culture is so prevalent, it's very loud for a lot of us in the moment. And we are also super aware of how nuanced everyone's relationship with food is.
I'm sorry, but no, like you are that way. And again, that is completely fine, right? That's how you feel. But not everyone is in this space on the internet. No, not everyone is watching my videos. Sadly. No, it's actually probably a good thing. Not everyone is watching your videos. Not everyone is watching even Tess Holiday videos, right? Like most people, when you show them like, oh yeah, this person's lost a lot of weight, they're like, oh, good for them. They're not gonna be like, well, have we thought about the implications that could mean for... No, come on. Be realistic, dude. Like, that's not how most people are thinking. And so you have to understand that, like, the way that you think, while you might think that you are right, you have to understand that not everyone is going to think that way. So if you want to help people to understand how you feel, you're going to have those conversations instead of saying, skirt, nope, we're not allowed to talk about that. It's against what I believe or whatever. Like, oh my gosh, man. I'm sorry.
It could be positive relationship, it could be negative relationship, but we all have a very nuanced relationship with it, okay? Someone said...
Again, it's like making an assertion when in reality that's just not true, in my opinion.
In the comments, and it was such a fantastic point of view, is at the moment, when we look at green light topics of conversation, diet culture and weight loss is in there with the weather. With the weather. That's insane, no? That's insane. And this individualistic way of thinking, which is like, well, I want to talk about it, so I want to talk about it. Do you not care, like, how uncomfortable you might be making other people?
So, but this argument can be just flipped, right? Well, I don't want to talk about it, so we're not going to talk about it. Well, don't you care about how excited this person might be? Like, this kind of thinking, I mean, it's so easy to flip it on the other side. So I don't feel like this is a very good argument as to why it should be allowed or not allowed.
I would hate to be in a conversation that was actively making people uncomfortable.
Again, we're talking about someone, I assume, that doesn't have an idea that they're making this person uncomfortable. So it's not like this person has said, hey, you know what? I'm actually really uncomfortable talking about this topic. I'd rather not. And the person is like, no, you're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about this. I lost weight and this is how I did it. Like, that's not what's happening here, right? It's someone that doesn't know this conversation is making this person uncomfortable. And so they're just talking about, they're just going about their day, right? They're not thinking that I am harming this person by bringing up this conversation. They're just trying to have a conversation. Like, it would be a completely different thing if you're like, yeah, I told this person I really don't want to talk about it, and they kept doing it. If that's the case, then yes, that's wrong, right? If someone says they don't want to talk about something, regardless of how much you feel that you need to tell them, if they say they don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it, right? That person is not interested in the conversation you're trying to have. Easy, right? But like, if the person doesn't know, how are they supposed to know? I think that's the easiest way to put it, right?
But you want to, like, ride the dick of diet culture so hard that you don't care.
No.
You want the praise.
It's not that people don't care. They don't know. Like, it
comes with it. And the thing is, I truly hope you get what you're looking for from people who want to have that conversation with you. The whole point in that video is that not everyone wants to have that conversation, and it's having
Then tell them. Then just tell them. In the moment, right? Tell them, hey, I don't want to have this conversation. These videos don't need to exist, in my opinion.
bit of fucking self-awareness to recognize that, and also maybe recognize why that might be. Ultimately, if you really want to talk about diet culture and weight loss with every Tom, Dick and Harry you come across, then you must be a boring person who has nothing else to talk about.
So that's the argument that you always hear. Oh, you're just obviously so boring. And this is like, if someone is excited about something, like it's just so easy to make that argument for anything. Oh, if you want to talk about, I don't know, Sonic the Hedgehog to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you come across, you must be so boring. If you want to talk about astrology to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you come across, you must be boring. If you want to talk about the Joker movie that just came out that everyone seems to hate, then you must, like, that argument, you can just use that against anything that you personally might not be interested in. But of course, there are plenty of people that are interested in anything you can think of. There are plenty of people that are interested in calendars. That's their favorite thing to think about. Plenty of people that are interested in aviation. It's their favorite thing to talk about. Like, people have different interests, and like shaming someone because they're interested in something that is actively changing their life, losing a significant amount of weight, I don't know. It just seems very negative to me. And like these kinds of videos, they feel very negative. Like, I don't want to talk about this, and the fact that you want to talk about it, ooh, kind of embarrassing to me, you know? Like, that's the way I see it. But that's just how I feel. I would love to know what y'all think down in the comment section down below. Hopefully my voice will be better by the next video. We will see. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.